When we began our journey as a capital collector, learning from Hero Alliance, and this allowed us to help our investors grow their wealth while giving us the ability to scale our business and expand our impact.
All right, it's a pleasure to introduce Evon and Wendy Madison, who embody what it means to build wealth with intention, courage, and aligned action. Wendy has been in the industry for quite some time, back in 1991 with a single family home, and started as her foundation for a legacy-driven investment philosophy. In 2007, her and Evon joined forces, expanding their vision, their capacity, and their impact. They stepped into larger scale multifamily, affordable housing, and today they're known to simplify complex concepts, make wealth building feel accessible to everyday people, and help everyday families understand how to create generational wealth through real estate, which, as we all know, is the biggest wealth builder in this country, and helping families build wealth that outlives them, which I'm sure is everyone's goal on this call. Combined experience over 40 years, approximately 75 million in assets under management. I'm sure that will be much higher here soon, over 600 doors, valued at 100 million total, and have raised a few $1,000,000 themselves, which I'm sure, again, that number will be going up and up very soon. So welcome, Wendy and Evon. Great to have you guys.
Thank you. Great to be here.
It is still a little quiet. What kind of microphone are you guys using? It was louder when you got on the call.
I'll speak up. It's me. It's all right.
Oh, no, it's better. It just magically got way louder.
Okay, not a problem.
But I think we're good now. I wanted you guys to go over your business model and what got you guys here. Kind of give us a little bit of background and what you guys are working on in 2026.
Sure. So, business model. I would say we think it's pretty simple, but our chosen path was intentional. We partnered on deals first by being LPs, then we moved to GPs, and that gave us the ability to build experience, diversify our portfolio, and strengthen what I call our operational capabilities, learning how the multifamily business works. As we grew, we realized that capital raising isn't optional, it's essential. So that's when we began our journey as a capital collector, learning from Hero Alliance. And this allowed us to help our investors grow their wealth while giving us the ability to scale our business and expand our impact. Now, you were talking about why we got into multifamily. Evon, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I think like a lot of people, we didn't come from wealth, but we wanted wealth to come from us. Multifamily became the vehicle to build generational wealth, create stability for our family, and build a legacy that outlives us. The scale, the stability, and the impact definitely are unmatched. For us, I would say it's about freedom, impact, and creating an opportunity for the next generation, not just financially, but in a mindset confident on possibility. I would say multifamily gave us a path to build something bigger than ourselves.
Gotcha. And is there something specific that motivated? I know you guys have been in the business for a long time, but is there something specific that motivated you to pursue a career in multifamily and commercial real estate? Because for a lot of people, it does start off as I'm going to flip a house on the side, I'm going to do this thing on the side. So when was it that you guys decided, oh, this is something I need to do full time? This is my career now.
I think I'll do that because I took the leap first. I had the opportunity to learn about RE Mentor, and since I was semi-retired and I was doing all the research and everything, I took the plunge and I went to an initial meetup, and then it sounded good, and then I told Evon about it, and then we both showed up and we signed on the dotted line. And we saw that community as a mechanism, a vehicle to make our dreams come into reality. Because before it was just in a forming stage, it was just something out there that we wanted to do, but we didn't quite know how to make it all happen. And we found a community that provided us education, help us get that clarity about how we wanted to go about it, and more importantly, build our confidence. And then the next thing is the community was so open, supportive. I think it made us say, yes, we can do it, because it showed us a way how we can turn our dreams, our intentions into a full-grown, like a business plan and create an execution roadmap. And from 2004, I think we were very successful in the multifamily space. And then we figured out, okay, we were missing something because capital raising, asking people for money, I always felt very shy about it. Why should you trust me? And then when the whole partnership with Hero Alliance got announced, it was like, wow, okay, that's what I'm missing. So we just embraced it, stepped into that whole new level of learning. We're particularly pumped about learning about capital raising and the fund to funds model. And like I said, it just basically filled that missing piece of our education. And it's helping us understand how to raise capital in the right way. It's showing us how to build structure. And it's twofold. It's helping us take care of our long-term vision, but it's also helping our investors as well. And it's just, for us, it's the bridge that we needed to take us from where we are right now to where we want to be in a space that we want to be in, which is the multifamily real estate space. I know that was a little bit long-winded, but I feel passionate about it.
I'll just add to that as well that really it's about partnership. Wendy and I are very passionate about it and we support each other. So it was really easy to do it. Those are some of the things that motivated us as well.
Yeah. And how did you guys go about acquiring the necessary skills and knowledge? I know you mentioned Ari Mentor, but aside from Ari Mentor, did you have a mentor or someone you had in your corner to show you the ropes, so to say?
Yeah, so through the RE mentorship program, they do have a coaching as well. So we did sign up to get a one-on-one coaching session. So that was primarily focused. And then we got hooked up with other networking groups and other coaches. But I would say our mentor and the Hero Alliance community was our primary coach.
Correct.
Gotcha. And I'm curious what your experience was like on your first capital raise. Wendy, like you said, it can be awkward asking people for money. And in a perfect world, you're not really asking them, right? You're presenting the opportunity and educating them, and they're making that decision. But your first capital raise, what kind of challenges did you guys face, and how did you try to overcome those?
Yeah, wow. That's a great question. Our biggest challenge was in our inner circle. They didn't initially see us in this new role. They knew as friends, parent, professional, not as a syndicator or capital raiser, right? We had to reintroduce ourselves. We had to show our credibility, share our education, and help them see the version of us we're becoming, essentially with the education that we have acquired over the years. Once they saw our conviction, our preparation, and the track record that we have built, everything shifted. And the key there is track record that we built, because those are some of the things that we shared with them along our journey. Then people begin to lean in and start asking questions. And once they start asking questions, they start to gain trust in us and willing to trust us with their capital, their money, right? I think that everyone would agree that trust is in short supply, and people have to really trust you in order to trust you with their money. That's something that they've worked all their lives for. The first one wasn't just about money per se. It was about the identity, the belief, and fully stepping into who we become.
And for me, the big part of it is I had to embrace the part of me that I'm now a capital raiser. I'm an expert in a real estate field, and I know a whole lot more than I think I know. So I had to get out of my own way.
This is true. So, yeah.
That's a good point. I want to go a little deeper into that because you guys, and this isn't super uncommon, someone who has a lot of experience doing deals, and then they realize, oh, I need to really lock in on raising money. And so I have all this experience, but I haven't raised that much money. compared to people who have gotten into the industry in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. You guys have been in the industry for a long time, but the last 5 years, if you don't know how to raise money, it's almost like a stain on your track record, right? Because, whenever people start now, capital raising for a lot of people is that and underwriting. They're the one and two. And so I'm curious what advice you would give to somebody who is in a similar situation where, oh, my friends and family and my network sees me as this T professional, doctor, lawyer, whatever my profession is. They see me as this. How do I get them to see me as a real estate professional, a real estate expert? What advice would you give to someone who's going through something similar, whether they're brand new or whether they've been in the industry for a while? They just haven't really raised that much money.
I think you need to trust yourself, trust the education that you have gained over the years in real estate, and sit them down and talk about what's going on in the market. Show them the numbers. Here's exactly how much I've invested, and show them what the returns have been. You want to be honest with them as well. You want to let them know that, hey, there's certainly risk here, but here are some of the risk mitigation, understanding the asset, understanding the market, and how to go about assessing a property before you actually start to invest, to make that investment. And I think that definitely what it does is really it helps you to establish credibility in a way that we believe in real operator. Again, through action, alignment, and most importantly, I cannot stress this, you have to be transparent. When you're transparent, people trust you because you're not hiding anything from them, right?
So I would say that for me, when I had this, in terms of getting out of my own way, because I didn't feel comfortable sharing initially upfront what I was doing, because I was a W-2 person and I looked at real estate as my side hustle. And as I gained the experience, and I knew a lot because I was helping people as part of my work team. Here's how you need to finance your own home. Here's how you can buy a house. Here's how you can house hack. So I was helping people do all these things, but yet I still did not see myself as an expert. So again, that was one of my limiting beliefs and my mindset. And then once we started sharing the education and sharing our story, I think that led to our credibility, because what we did was we invested our own capital first. We never asked anyone to do something that we weren't willing to do ourselves. And then we told them that, you know what, this is a new journey. We don't know everything. That's why we invested in our education. That's why we're partnering with experienced operators, learning from people who have already walked the path, build a track record so that we can model what has already been done and proven. Like, we're not reinventing the wheel.
Others who have blazed the trail, willing to share with us.
That partnership, and then just telling our story. But I think for us, what was important, we didn't just say, here's everything that went well. We said, here's the mess. Here, we had some wins, but we screwed up. We lost. Here's the amount of money that we lost. And here's what we learned from that. So I think being real about it said that they can trust us.
Yeah, lessons learned is a very important part of that transparency.
Yeah. And you guys answered my next question, which was going to be, and the two big things you said I was going to ask, like, how did you guys establish credibility with potential investors? And two really easy answers is staying transparent, right? Being able to talk about your losses, because everyone on social media, all is the wins, being able to talk about the losses, but importantly, investing your own money, right? Putting your money where your mouth is and say, I have 100 grand in this. I have 200 grand in this deal. If something happens, I'm going down with you. At least I'm showing confidence in my investment, which doesn't sound pretty. Hey, if anything goes wrong, I'm going down with you. But it makes people feel very seen. I think something that's been missing a lot in the last 5 or 6 years with social media and everything's very digital. People are maybe seen more as paychecks than people. So people want to feel heard. They want to feel seen. And when you give them that transparency, you show them your losses, it makes them feel a lot more, they can sleep well at night knowing Wendy and Evon, I know if I give them money for an investment, they're going to treat it as if it's their own.
They know that we're going to show up, right? And just being there, standing there right beside them, because everybody's talking about my credibility, but credibility, you don't just go say, I've got credibility. I think it's something like trust. You got to earn it,
right?
and you got to be there all the time, consistency. You got to do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, right?
Absolutely.
Your word is your bond. If you don't have that, there's nothing else.
I agree. Very well put. I'm curious. I know that for you guys, you start with friends and family. As you plan to grow your capital raising, what are some methods you're using to find and attract more passive investors? Is it mostly social media? Are you guys going to events? Like, how are you trying to grow your internal list?
There's three areas that we focus on: organically sharing our story, just like what we said this earlier. That's also in person and virtual events. And of course, marketing and lead fund. Those are some of the three areas that we focus on because people like to connect with real people. When they see the journey, as Wendy clearly stated earlier on, the growth, the heart behind what we do, trust builds naturally. So if you think about it, just naturally, people see you as real, not just fake, right? When you meet people in person, look, the in-person virtual meeting is a very important one. Whether it's mastermind, and you talk about Meetup, Logan, just now, or a Zoom call, that we are on right now. We are in a space where we're sharing our story with everyone, get to know each other. And these spaces allow people to see our authenticity and feel our energy, ask questions, and see our commitment up close through social media, where we now share knowledge that we had a little bit.
Okay, he's laughing because I'm not a big social media person, and he's been me for forever, and now I'm out there, so that's why he's laughing. So I'll say it. So now I'm sharing my knowledge on a weekly basis, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I have a local meetup group here where I'm showing people how they can tap into to buy their first home, or invest. So that's why he's laughing at me. I still don't like the camera. It's going to take me a while. So I need to get the AI version of me out there singing and dancing.
Yeah, definitely. And again, we talked about education, and a lot of listen, people that I know in my profession, they have money. They may not realize they do, but a lot of people don't realize that they can tap into their 401k to invest. And we educate them because that helps to open door. And when people see something valuable from us, again, as we said, they definitely lean in because we educate them and that trust is built.
Yeah, you make a good point about social media, Wendy. I don't think anyone really likes using social media. It can rot your brain a little bit, but in this new day and age, if you don't know how to use it, then you're just playing with one arm tied behind your back, because where are investors? They're on LinkedIn, they're on Facebook, whether we like it or not. And slowly progressing yourself into the social media age and learning, hey, Tim's big into AI. He uses an avatar for a ton of things, so that's an option, right? But also putting yourself out there so that other people can see and follow you, right? Because you might have somebody, and this is something not a lot of people think about. They just see, I post something in January and someone likes it. And then I keep posting in February and March. And maybe it's not till August, but they've been watching your journey and all your stories, and they're not commenting, they're not DMing you. But then August comes around and now they've seen enough, and now they actually want to take action. So it's about consistency when it comes to social media, which I don't think enough people look at it that way. They just, this many people liked it, I need to reach out to these people. But sometimes it's the ones that are just passively watching that watch you grow your story and your journey, and then they're ready to invest, right? So consistency on social media is not easy, I can tell you, because I do a lot of our social media. It's not fun, but it pays off in the end.
Yeah. And like I said, that was a big leap for me, and marked it on the calendar that I'm going to do maybe a mindset post on one day. I'm going to do something around 401k and investing on a different day, wealth building. So that's what I've committed to do. I'm not going to promise to post my food or where I went shopping or anything like that yet, okay? I have been playing with creating an AI avatar. Tim's been encouraging about that. It's been fun.
Yeah. And I like what you said, Logan, today about consistency, because consistency is the foundation for success. The other one that certainly I would add is that discipline, self-discipline is self-love. And if you wanted to create a wealth for the next generation, you're showing love, and you have to be disciplined in the execution of those values.
Gotcha. Yeah, very well put. I'm curious, you guys mentioned the 401ks and retirement accounts. I know both your backgrounds. Do you have an ideal investor profile you guys are targeting, like a specific avatar, IT professionals, or are you guys going more blanket? Or are you trying to specifically target a certain kind of avatar?
Yeah, our ideal investor definitely are busy professional. These are some of the people with small business, high income earner who are looking for tax advantages and wanted true passive income. This is having a passive income without the headache of being a landlord. We focus on these groups because they already working hard and they already successful and they're looking for a way to make their money just as hardworking as they do. I would say they value time, freedom, predictable returns, and the ability to build long-term wealth without adding another job to their plate. I see this problem solving. You identify a problem and you help them to solve it.
Because everybody wants to leave the rat race, whether they know it or not. It's in the back of their mind.
Absolutely.
So you would say that tax advantage and saving time while still making passive income, that's like their primary motivations for your avatar?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I would go from a motivation perspective. They want to get out of the rat race and they want to get passive income, but they're not sure how to go about it. You mentioned that they want to save taxes because they're working hard. They're doctors, lawyers, business owners, and they're making this money, but yet,
They're giving up
Uncle
on
Sam is
everything.
taking half of it, okay? And traditionally, everybody's been putting their money in the stock market. And some of them, they're getting close to the retirement age and they don't want to do the roller coaster ride anymore. So they're looking for information. They're looking for somebody to show them, educate them how they can preserve their wealth, how they can hold on to more of what they have, and how to create that legacy, however they define it, to pass it on down to the next generation. That's what I think everybody wants, particularly high achieving professionals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm curious for those professionals, especially business owners and things. Right now, we're in a interesting place with multifamily. The last few speakers we've had on are more bullish. Some people are on the other side of the fence. I'm curious if, since you have a little bit more, I think that the business owner avatar of investors may be a little more sophisticated than if you're raising money from engineers or someone who doesn't run their own business. Do you think that they prefer a single asset type, or do they want to diversify more? Are you seeing your investors being more anti-multifamily or anything like, are you guys seeing anything like that from your investors right now?
Yeah. So far, our investors have primarily invest in single family opportunity. And I would say, and that's been a great way for them to understand the business plan, the market, and the operator behind each deal. Because it's more like a one-on-one type situation. But now we're stepping into the fund of fund model to offer something even stronger: diversification, consistency of deal flow, and a smoother, more streamlined investor experience. It allows them to spread their risk across
But when you combine it with raise all the social
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know where that was coming from.
It allows our investors to spread the risk across multiple opportunities through one commitment and stay invested without waiting for the perfect single deal to appear.
And I would say in the past, we just knew about syndication. So we took a long time to find the right deal because we're very conservative. We don't want to lose anyone's money. We treat it as our own. Very conservative in our underwriting, make sure that we have a WTF fund that would cover something because we don't like to go back having a capital call. And that's what we were comfortable with. and we didn't know anything else. Now that we're learning and we're gaining experience on the fund side, we see that there is value there, because one of the challenges that we had was when we were trying to raise money, we were always up against the clock. We got the deal, we have X days to raise this funds, then we have to close. But what we're learning about, if we have a fund structure, we can continuously raise, we can engage investors, we can engage people that we meet. And if they happen to have money sitting in a bank account getting 2%, we can say, hey, you know what, you can park it here. We can give you double what you're getting in a bank account. And then when we find that deal that's right for you, we can just move it over. So we find that we can service our potential investors all the time versus I do you this month, I got a 6 months dry spell, and then I'm going to come tap on your door again. Because at that point, they may have gone, they may have moved on, invest with somebody else, or they just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. And as we said earlier, and for these investors, we stay connected to them, keeping them abreast of the different opportunity that presents itself.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask next. What are you guys doing right now to try to stay top of mind and maintain long-term relationships with investors? I know your list maybe isn't as big as others we've had on the show, but I always like to ask this question. If you have any strategies you're thinking about doing long-term, right? Like newsletters, direct mail. Some people do bottles of wine or birthday cards or steak dinner or something like that. Are you guys doing anything like that currently, or do you plan to implement anything to stay top of mind for your investors?
I'll let Wendy answer that question, but I'll simply say this. Sometimes it's just simply pick up the phone and just to say, hey, how's things going? How's the family doing? When you're talking to different investors, learn about their family, learn about little Johnny, what grade is little Johnny and how little Johnny is progressing. And pick up the phone and say, hey, how's everything going? I remember that Johnny's birthday. They just want to call to let little Johnny know, happy birthday. People appreciate things like that. And again, they talk about the authenticity. They see that, and that at least you remember little Johnny's birthday. These small things are very important.
Yeah, that just comes back to the connection, showing that you're genuine, you care, and making it personal, and stay in touch just to say hello, not you calling me because you want money.
Exactly.
Okay? Because the relationships is built all along
Journey.
between the deals, through the deals, after the deals. And maybe you reached out to them right now and they say no, but because you're constant about it, the next time you're going to say yes. So the long-winded answer is yes, we try to stay in touch, phone calls, emails, and depending on what it is, token, gifts of appreciation, and working with investors that understand that, because Beth was on earlier and she shared that we are involved in a deal that we're working on together. And what's really neat about that project and working with Beth, we're of the similar mindset. We want to show appreciation for our tenants. It's not just an apartment building. It's a whole, it's a community. And we want people to feel that they're nurtured and cared for, because having somebody stay and you do a small rent increase is going to be less, and giving them like a back to school gift or a summer gift or a turkey gift, Easter eggs for the kids, costs you less than if that person leaves and now you have to pay to turn that unit. So connection is not just towards your investors. I would say connection is also the community or the asset community that you're responsible for. You have to make sure that they feel appreciated and cared for, as long as including your investors. So it's kind of twofold.
I would say something very simple. Just be a good person. Think about someone else as you would yourself. We talked about us investing our own money. It's an example of that. We're willing to put our skin in the game, right? And so when other people see that, they trust you. So just be a good person.
Man, I wish that you guys and Beth were the GP of my apartment complex. They're not as nice as you guys. I don't get
We give
gifts. They give us, I think they give us 50% off Papa John's once every few months, a little code. I think that's the best we get here. But I do that answer because I think people look at the numbers and the renovation budget and they do forget, and I think that really good sponsors are successful because of this. They do forget these are people that live here. All of us probably have lived in an apartment. We've all had, most likely, a bad property manager, a bad leasing agent, and obviously the P&L is important, but so is tenant experience because go on Google and you got 2 stars on Google, that's not good for vacancy either. And so making sure that the people who live in your complex are actually happy and you're doing the little things that don't really cost you much. But the first apartment I ever had in Tampa, I can't recommend enough to other people because they were so over the top about being nice and extra about the things they didn't really have to be, and most places aren't. My new place is not like that, unfortunately, but it does pay you back both in and in karma for being a good person and making someone's experience worthwhile. So I really like that answer, which I don't think I've heard a lot of on this show. People talking about, hey, here's some things you should do, not just for your investors, but for your tenants too, because they matter and you never know. Eventually, maybe some of your tenants become investors if you treat them the right way, right?
Not only that, those two are connected because if your tenant is staying, that means that you're doing well for your investor. Because again, there's not a turnover and a bigger return on investment.
A $5-10 tenant appreciation gift is going to save you $800 on a turn, not counting the time it takes to get it leased up. So it pays you tenfold.
Yeah, I agree. And I know that you guys mentioned like, hey, we had deals we lost money in, and it's not all sunshine and flowers. So on the deals that you guys did lose money, how did you two navigate that when it comes to, I'm not sure if these were deals you'd raised capital for or not, but how did you kind of deal with the situations where you did lose money and you guys did have drawbacks and some failures on these properties? How did you guys navigate that?
I did not sleep.
Yeah.
You lose hope at first. You start asking yourself, am I doing right by my family? My God, lost all this money. But then you're reminded that they are a risk in investment and that what you need to do is to go back to fundamental understanding. I talk about lessons learned. Why did I lose on this investment? And you do the assessment, the analysis of that, and you take that knowledge and move forward.
But I think to the part that you need to say, yes, we lost money. The people that gave us money for those deals, did they give us money later on? Yes. And the reason why they did that is when we were kind of going through and we thought we were in trouble, and here's the reasons why that it may not come out the way that we had first projected, is we were upfront and honest about it. There were things that were beyond our control. Nobody saw that it was happening. And we were right there beside them, feeling their pain. So I think that said a lot.
Yeah. If you think about the real estate market crash at that time, again, everyone lost their shirt, or most people did, right?
Didn't lose our shirt. Strong fundamentals. We lost a bit, not our shirt.
So, but again, during that time was great opportunity. And going back to the fundamentals, we were able to share with them that, hey, we lost some money, but it's a great time for investing because we know that market is cyclical. This is a bad time for everyone, but if you invest, you will recoup the money on the up. And they did. They invested in us, trusted what we had to say, and market turnaround, as everyone knows. And we make some good money there. So we recoup somewhat. Depends on how you want to calculate that, but yes.
Yeah, I think being transparent is a big piece of that. I don't know who I stole this from, but I stole it from somebody that like capital calls, usually capital calls, big no-no, but not every capital call is created equally. Not every deal that loses money is created equally. The reasons that happens are different across the board. And so both as an LP or as a GP, because we do a lot of fund of funds, and if someone has a capital call sponsor, it's usually a big red flag, right? Disqualifier. But then we look into why did this capital call happen? Did they try to inject their own capital into the deal? Did they try to be transparent? Because maybe there's a reason that it was out of their control. So
Right.
looking at each individual situation uniquely is important too. And I'm curious, you guys have been in real estate for a long time. How did experiencing the last market crash in 2008, how did that kind of shape how you guys did business moving forward? Since I think Wendy, you were doing mostly single family. How did that kind of shape how you guys do business now?
It just goes back to strong fundamentals. So I guess it reinforced for us that you got to stick to the basics. You got to have your strong fundamentals, know your numbers, be conservative, don't be leveraged 95%. That means you have no wiggle room when something goes wrong, and stay your course. Don't be chasing the deal. We never thought that we have to have 6 deals a year, 4 deals a year. We never did that kind of numbers. We just consistently went out there, we did our underwriting, and we let the asset speak for itself. Sometimes there were times in a year when we didn't do anything. It's not because we didn't want to or we didn't try. It's that we did not choose to chase the deal. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
No, that's perfect. I think that's a really good answer because there's a lot of people who haven't done a deal in the last year, and sometimes you can feel the pressure, right? Oh, I haven't done a deal. And some people do have that. I use this example a lot. People say, oh, I want to do 1,000 units. Okay, what does that mean, right? 1,000 units in LA versus 1,000 units in Alabama, right? Those are two different things. And same thing with the amount of deal. I want to do 3 deals this year. Okay, what does that really mean to do 3 deals? Because I can go do 3 deals pretty quickly, I might add, but they might be bad deals. Doing them just to do them, I think, is, especially right now in this market, is a very flawed mindset. It's more about letting the asset speak for itself. Is the deal good? Is the market good? Do you actually believe in it? Or are you taking it down just to say you did, just to add 150 units to your resume? Which I don't think
Right.
people do it intentionally, but you feel the pressure, right? I haven't done a deal in 8 months, 12 months, 14 months. And so one that's maybe questionable comes across your desk, and I have to do it, right? And so I think that mindset is really important to know,
And
hey, not every deal needs to be taken down by us because this one doesn't fit our buy box.
And I think also being part of the Hero Alliance community right now and learning about funds, it says that we don't necessarily have to source the deal ourselves. We're a part of the community. And if somebody else has a deal and the numbers work for us, we can participate in that deal, either as part of the syndication or as part of helping to raise the capital to close that deal. So it gives us options, which we did not have before. So that's just our new lens and the way that how we're looking at our business now.
Absolutely. Very cool. I'm curious if you guys have any resources, software, marketing. Is there any kind of, whether it's a portal you prefer, a vendor, is there any kind of resources or tools or digital marketing stuff that you use that you recommend other people use too?
I guess that's me, or you want to take that?
The short answer is yes and no. We currently use Excel. We know how to use that tool in combination with AI. A lot of people believe that they need to get that, but when you're just starting up, I think that Excel works in more ways than one, particularly in this age and time of AI, because you can use the Excel just to simply keep track of numbers, and you can do a lot of customization on Excel. And AI as and not only a tool that would help you to do market analysis and due diligence, but it's also a tool that can educate you on how to leverage Excel. So at this point in time, yeah, those are the two tools that we are leveraging right now to track
And I would
our
say,
investment as well.
and I guess because of the different projects that we're in, on the syndication side, we have exposure. I think it was Cash Flow Portal is one of them. Sponsor Cloud, I think the old name was Syndication Pro was another one. And I think when it comes down to it, there's a lot of good CRM tools out there. Some of them are not that expensive. You can probably get something that's anywhere from maybe under $100 monthly if you're not comfortable with Excel. Our background, we're comfortable with it, so didn't choose to do that. But at the end of the day, you have to come up with a system that you're comfortable with that will help you keep track, your brokers, your investors, that makes things easy for you.
And your investment.
So that it's clear, you have some speed, that you're not looking for stuff all over the place. And it works for you and your investors, because Excel works for me. It may not work for somebody who's not comfortable with that, and they would want to do something that is a CRM tool. So,
Yeah, you can get a lot done with Excel and A. I think it takes a lot of time to get this proficient, but you can use Excel for anything. If you learn the formulas and the shortcuts, you can use Excel for, I think a lot of people don't know because they use it just in their office, but it can really transform the way you do spreadsheets.
you can have a little
If you-
database in Excel with lookup tables and macros and
Yeah.
formulas. It could sing.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, go play around on Claude or ChatGPT, and you'll learn a thing or two about how to use Excel. Even if you have a CRM, we use Go High Level. I still use spreadsheets every single day, and if over the last few years, I've gotten a lot better with it. Still a good answer, even though you guys just use those two basic tools, Excel and AI. They can go together really well. So I like that. And I also do recommend Sponsor Cloud and Cashflow Portal. They're both fantastic portals. I'm curious if you guys could go back and restart your real estate journey from the beginning. What would you do differently?
Wow.
Start earlier.
Most definitely start earlier. We started out in single family home. We would move much more quicker into multifamily. This certainly would help us to scale much faster and to accelerate our learning and build our confidence in the real estate market, and certainly create a momentum where we can see a much higher return in investment, as well as helping others to grow their portfolio.
I think the momentum is how you can scale in single family. You could do that a lot quicker
True. Yeah.
than single family.
Yep.
So the number of years that we spent in single family and the doors that were accumulated, if we took that same time and the same amount of work, we would have been much further ahead. So looking back, I would say take that leap sooner.
But there's a school of thought that says that you really shouldn't look back. You look back mostly on the experience, but not with any regrets. And I'll be honest, I don't have any regrets, albeit if I had to do it over, I would do it differently.
It didn't say
But
it doesn't.
the journey was very educational, and I value that.
Absolutely. And for someone who aspires to get 500 plus units under their belt, $100 million in total business and AUM, but doubts their ability to achieve that goal where you guys are, and you guys still have a lot more you want to accomplish. Someone that wants to get to that level but doubts their ability to do, what kind of advice would you give them to achieve that goal?
The amount doesn't really matter, whether it's 100 million. What matters most, looking back, is really to step into it. If I may use Nike's logo, just do it, right? I think that is important, because when we started, we didn't fully believe people would trust us with their capital. We said earlier on, we had to overcome our limiting belief. We were in our own way. And over time, we have raised a little over 2 million, not because we're perfect, but because, as we said earlier on, we focus on the fundamental: building trust, building relationship, and building a track record that speaks for itself. Very important there. You don't raise 100 million by waiting to feel ready. Sitting there, am I ready? Am I ready?
Never be ready.
I'll never be ready, right? You're in your own way, okay? You raise it by becoming a person who take action, who step into it. You want to start with one conversation one investor, one deal, start to build that momentum, and obviously the confidence will grow.
And that applies whether you're raising money, whether you're looking to source your first deal, whatever you want to do in life. Okay. You gotta, whatever that goal is, every single day you need to take one small action to help achieve that step, whatever it is.
One foot in front of the other.
Because if you don't take any action, you're not going to get any closer. If there was one takeaway from here is whether you're looking for your first deal, whether you're looking for money, whether you're looking to finish school, whether you're looking to get that first house, whatever it is, pay off the credit card, pay off the credit card, it applies to life. You got to take one small action each day so you can get one step closer. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I love it. Very good answer. You guys have been super generous with your time and your knowledge. Really good to have you guys on. It looks like we have a lot of people in the audience who really wanted to be here for you guys as well. So what is the best way for the audience to support or give back to you? And what's the best way for our listeners to connect with you guys?
I would say the best way to support us is to connect with us, share opportunities, introduce us to people in your circle who have money and want to get involved in real estate. We believe in collaboration, helping each other, building together. The community is here to give back. And by doing that collaboration, we all rise. I think, who do you want them to connect, you or me?
Connect with Wendy. Yeah, connect with her, and Facebook is the easiest way to reach us.
Okay, so I think I'll drop my link in the chat. And
yeah, I put your LinkedIn and your company website there. So put anything else in the chat you want people to use to connect with you guys.
Yeah, so I would say I'll connect with me on Facebook, and I don't know.
Logan, and to the community, I'll say that as well. Thank you very much. But in closing, I would say that at the end of the day, real estate isn't just about doors, deal, or dollar. It's about destiny. It's about deciding that your family story doesn't end where it started. It's a journey, absolutely. If there's one thing we've learned over our journey, it's this. You don't need to come from wealth to build it. You just need tension, aligned action, and the right people in your corner. Most of all, you need, as I said earlier on, you to be disciplined. Get out of your own way. Be consistent. As I was saying earlier on, that discipline is self-love. Consistency is the foundation of wealth, right? And to take small intentional action each day towards your goal. And if you're ready to step into the next version of yourself, the one who builds, leads, and leaves a legacy, then let's stay connected. Reach out to Wendy.
Oh, reach out to me, right?
Right, because
And you.
so yeah, so that's my parting words, if you will.
Awesome. Very good. I love it. Yeah.